Intermittent fasting offers incredible healing potential to your body, but many of you are not maximizing the benefits of intermittent fasting because of the foods that you're eating during your eating window. Now, when you're in the fasted state, that's when the magic happens. However, you can't get that therapeutic benefit of fasting if you're eating the things you should never eat when you're intermittent fasting. Let's go ahead and dive right into the first one, and this is ultra-processed foods. Now, if you're not familiar with ultra-processed foods, these are going to be cheap, low-quality ingredients found in food that are chemically altered in order to make them taste good. Food companies use this in order to maximize profits. Ultra-processed foods are going to be the foods that have 300 different ingredients in them, and none of which you could understand what they are. Ultra-processed foods are going to be consumed regularly by 58% of you. So the thing is that most of you are eating these foods, and they're associated with over 32 different health conditions. They also are associated with causing systemic inflammation and causing imbalance in your microbiome. What that essentially means is it's really destroying your gut health. So these ultra-processed foods are driving you further away from health, all while you're trying to gain better health through intermittent fasting. So if you want to get the best benefit from intermittent fasting, stop eating these ultra-processed foods. They're terrible for you in general. And you know what? As you look at some of the health statistics today, they're extremely alarming. This year, it's estimated that we're going to peak over 2 million cases in cancer. And this is very scary because this is the first time it's ever happened. And I can tell you that these ultra-processed foods are certainly playing a huge role in them. Now, the next thing we want to stay away from is high glycemic foods. Why does this matter? Well, this matters because when you are in your fasted state, if you had just blown out your blood sugar in your eating window and kept it really high for sustained periods of time, when you get to the fasted state, you're not going to be able to get that blood sugar down low enough in order to actually get the benefits that intermittent fasting has to offer. You're going to basically go through that whole fasted state, and your body's going to be just working to get the blood sugar down, but it's never really going to get it there effectively or efficiently. Now, the other thing that you want to avoid high glycemic foods for is because what goes up must come down. High glycemic foods are foods that rapidly raise your blood sugar. If you rapidly raise your blood sugar will crash after that. So therefore, if you are rapidly raising your blood sugar during the eating window, you're going to find that when you're in the fasted state, you're going to be more likely to get headaches, brain fog, fatigue, dizziness, and a whole lot of very unpleasant symptoms. So whenever we look at high glycemic foods, some of the obvious ones are going to be things like candy, right? But the not so obvious high glycemic foods will be things like white bread, white rice, corn, and the foods that don't offer a lot of nutritional value, but also are very, very processed and really going to spike up your blood sugar. Now, the next thing we need to avoid is empty calories. Now, if you're not familiar with the term empty calories, essentially what this means that you're eating foods that have almost no nutritional value to them. There's no vitamins, there's no minerals, there's no fiber. It's typically foods that are very high in sugar and also high in fats. And so they're going to give you energy, but there's no nutrition there. Why does this matter? Well, this matters because when you're intermittent fasting, let's say that you're going to fast for a 16-hour period and you're eating all your meals within an 8-hour period. Or even if you're doing one meal a day and you're eating all of your meals in a 1 to 2 hour period. Essentially, what you want to do is make sure that you're getting the most nutrient-dense foods available. So obviously sticking to your whole foods. So some examples of empty calories are going to be things such as donuts, breads, candies, and a lot of foods out there, and even drinks typically, that just have very, very little nutritional value. So of course, if you're sticking to your whole foods and avoiding these really low quality foods, these ultra processed foods, these high glycemic foods, you're gonna skip the empty calories. And so I highly recommend, in order to get the most out of your fast, you're really focusing on that small eating window to get as much nutritionally dense food as possible into your diet. I also recommend, for this reason, to take a multivitamin during this time so that you're getting a good wide spectrum of minerals and vitamins and everything necessary to keep you humming along in a healthy way. And I'll put a link in the description below to a good multi that you can use during your eating window. Now, the next thing we want to focus on here is liquid sugar. Liquid sugar is going to be your teas, your energy drinks, your sodas, all of the empty calories that are high glycemic and typically fall into this ultra processed category. These are the things that you want to avoid. They're very, very hard on your liver, but also they fall into the category of really messing up your blood sugar. And you have to understand that blood sugar component is very important if you want to get the benefits of fasting. If you want to be able to tap into the fat on your body and burn that for energy, you have to burn through the sugar stores in your body first. You can't do that if you're drinking the liquid sugar and your liver is stored up with glycogen and all of your muscles are stored up with glycogen. We don't want to be in that state. And as I mentioned before, the liquid sugar is considered the most damaging thing that you can do for your liver because most of the liquid sugar in the way of drinks has high fructose corn syrup in it, which is very, very likely to cause fat deposits in the liver, leading to fatty liver disease. So I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski. Make sure that you're avoiding these things here. Give this video a thumbs up and also be sure to check out my next video here.